In today's news, WhatsApp scams rock the VI. Minimum wage increase postponed. BVIEC to enhance resilience. Multifaceted approach for price control. Rotary Tortola and Red Cross collaborate. VG writer debuts children's books. We have the details of this and so much more when 284 News returns.
Start the year off with more. More speed, more downloading, more savings, and more fire. CCT Fire Fiber Internet gives you the speed you need to keep the whole family connected. Packages starting at $119 with speeds from 300 megabytes per second, super fast, unlimited downloads, even more reliable connectivity, plus free live streaming TV for the family to enjoy. Sign up for the absolute best fiber internet service in the BVI, CCT Fire, and pay no installation fee. Plus, get CCT Live TV for free. You deserve more. Get more with CCT. Life Unlimited.
Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of 284 News. It is Wednesday, December 4th, 2024. I'm Ron Grant, bringing you the very latest out of Tortola in the Virgin Islands. A happy Wednesday's wish to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for joining us. Residents of the Virgin Islands are being urged to stay alert against a surge in WhatsApp scams targeting individuals through fraudulent messages and hacking attempts. Officials report that scammers are using familiar tactics such as posing as known contacts, as well as sending fake Zoom meeting links or messages requesting 6-digit codes. Once access is gained, scammers can lock users out of their accounts, potentially compromising banking apps and personal data. Victims risk financial theft as well as identity fraud if they respond to these fraudulent requests. To combat these threats, users are advised to avoid clicking on unsolicited links, even from known contacts, confirm messages or requests by directly calling the sender, delete suspicious messages, immediately enable WhatsApp two-step verification for added security, and set up a 6-digit PIN and an email for recovery. The public is reminded as well to exercise caution and report any suspicious activity promptly to prevent becoming a victim of these scams. Stay vigilant to safeguard your personal information as well as devices. Former Deputy Premier and Minister for Financial Services and Labor and Trade, the Honorable Lorna Smith OBE, has expressed deep disappointment at the government's decision to postpone the much-anticipated increase in the BVI's minimum wage. Now, the implementation date was initially set for November 30th, but the government deferred it to 2025 due to an unspecified policy matter. Speaking on a recent ZBVI radio interview after the announcement, Smith described the situation as, I quote, unfair and wrong, noting that the move has disrupted expectations among employees and employers alike.
I am extremely disappointed at this decision. I don't know what is the reason behind it, but let me say that the minimum wage at $8.50 was approved by Cabinet. I repeat, it was approved by Cabinet in June. It was then laid on the table of the House of Assembly in July. There was publicity around it. The Director of Communications was one of the persons who did an in-depth interview about it. And we have had consultations throughout. In fact, it was important that we agree a basket of goods, as we called it. This would be basic goods, flour, rice, chicken, toothpaste, and so on. Agree a basket of goods that would be kept at a price that could be affordable. And so during the time that I was a minister, I met with every single one of the major supermarkets, and we made significant progress in agreeing to that basket of goods. In fact, I believe we were at a point where we were supposed to agree a memorandum of understanding between ourselves, that is the ministry and the supermarket.
The adjustment, which would have increased the hourly rate from $6 to $8.50, was part of a comprehensive strategy announced by Smith under her tenure as labor minister. The plan included regular wage reviews, targeted support for small businesses, as well as workforce development initiatives. The delay has come as a blow to workers eagerly anticipating the wage hike, which would have boosted fortnightly earnings from a minimum wage workers by $200 for a standard 40-hour work week. The last increase to the minimum wage in the territory occurred in 2016, and Smith bemoaned that the people deserved the increase.
The people of the British Virgin Islands, the workers, employees, deserve an increase. The last increase was in 2016, and in 2024, they deserve an increase. We allowed sufficient time for it to happen. In fact, the report was completed in April. It was announced in June, and it was to have come into effect on the 1st of December. Today, the 3rd of December, there is an announcement that a policy decision has been taken not to take this forward. It is unfair to the people, to the workers. It is wrong. People have been gearing up for it. Employees were expecting the increase. As I said before, having not had an increase since 2016, this is 2024. Employers were equally gearing up to provide the increase, and it is unfair and wrong for both employers and employees to be put into this position.
The territorial at-large representative also pointed to progress made under her leadership in negotiating with supermarkets to establish a basket of affordable basic goods, a measure meant to coincide with the minimum wage increase. While Smith refrained from directly attributing the delay to Premier Dr. the Honorable Natalia D. Wheatley, she stated that someone dropped the ball.
We also had the increase in the minimum wage coincide with a social protection program. In fact, Zan, you might recall that this was passed several months ago. And the two things were supposed to coincide so that there would be, so that the whole community would be able to raise their standard of living as a result of combining the minimum wage and the social protection policy. It is very unfortunate that this decision has been taken. I can only conclude that somebody dropped the ball.
The Ministry of Financial Services has promised to announce a revised implementation date in the first quarter of 2025. Up next, viewers, we have much more on the local scene. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
At Partners for Kids, your child's health and happiness are at the heart of everything we do. We've been the trusted medical home for children and adolescents up to 18 years old. And now, we are excited to welcome a new member to our family of healthcare professionals. Introducing Dr. Aisha Maxwell, our new family practitioner. Dr. Maxwell brings a wealth of experience and deep passion for pediatric and adult care, ready to join our team in providing first-rate health services to your family. At Partners for Kids, we believe in a collaborative approach to healthcare. With partners in occupational therapy and clinical psychology, Partners for Kids, where caring is just the beginning. Visit us at Road Reef Plaza, Tortola, open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call us at 284-444-5437 or reach out at info@partnersforkids.com to learn more.
That's just not cricket.
No sweat, you with CG. Remember my street dance battle against Seamus O'Leapsy? I went on to win the title Miss Irish. ish, set to perform at nursing homes around the world. Then this happened. Seamus on you, Seamus. Anyway, I was covered. Let's bounce.
Comprehensive motor cover for damage and more. CG Insurance. Good like that.
Just give me my service. Yeah. Just give me my service. Just give me my service.
Make the switch to CCT and get connected today. Unlimited talk, text, and data. Visit any CCT store or call us at 444-4444. CCT, Life Unlimited.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for sticking with us. Moving right along, Premier and Minister for Finance, Dr. the Honourable Natalia D. Wheatley, unveiled plans for the British Virgin Islands Electricity Corporation to implement climate resilience measures, including burying electricity cables underground. The announcement came under BVIEC's inaugural Career Expo on November 30th. Premier Wheatley highlighted the corporation's dedication to innovation, expressing gratitude for its consistent efforts. He noted the underground cabling project as a critical step towards enhancing the territory's infrastructure.
We are going to build climate resilience so that when the next storm comes, we'll be ready. And that in places like Hodges Creek and Paraquita Bay General Manager and Minister, we're going to bury those electricity cables underground. And Honorable Vincent Wheatley is not here, but I know the people over in Virgin Garden will appreciate that as well. Because when those poles are knocked down in Tortola, Virgin Garden doesn't have power. So we're going to build our climate resilience by burying those cables.
The Premier also discussed BVIEC's Solar Technology Energy Program, introduced by Minister for Communications and Works, the Honourable Kai M. Reimer. The program aims to reduce residential electricity bills by up to 50% through solar energy.
I recently transferred responsibility for alternative energy to the very capable Honourable Kai Reimer, because the BVIEC has a vision to be able to utilize the power of the sun as opposed to just fossil fuels, which is fueling the climate crisis in these Virgin Islands. It's called the Solar Technology Energy Program, brainchild of the minister himself, Honorable Kai Reimer, and he has a team that's going to execute it. And what we want to do is to ensure that as many homes as possible in the Virgin Islands have solar panels.
Acknowledging various contributors to the renewable energy advancement, Premier Wheatley emphasized the territory's commitment to sustainability and applauded ongoing initiatives in green energy development.
I can also acknowledge the work of the Ministry of Education, Youth Affairs, and Sports, H. Lavity Stout Community College, Unite BVI, who was a major contributor for that solar technology program that was able to certify, I think, upwards of 30 persons to equip them with the skills to be able to install those solar installations on persons' homes. And in the last SAP, Minister just remind me of the figure that we put in to get that program started. $1.35 million. Let's give that a round of applause.
Premier Dr. the Honourable Natalia D. Wheatley has revealed a multifaceted approach to combating the increasing cost of living within the British Virgin Islands. At a recent press conference, Premier Wheatley discussed key strategies including the promotion of renewable energy, boosting local agricultural production, and reviewing the territory's tax and duty regime. Wheatley also emphasized the importance of reviewing taxes affecting local vendors to reduce overall product prices and promised further action to support the territory's businesses to reduce the financial burden on residents. These measures, he believes, will place the BVI in a stronger position to manage price controls effectively.
A lot of the reason for the prices has to do with energy. One thing that we can do to help ourselves in lowering prices
is by using alternative energy, because of course many businesses and homes pay high electricity bills. We do have the STEP initiative, Solar Technology Energy Program, being led by the Minister of Communications and Works and the BVI Electricity Corporation. That is going to assist. We have to produce more food locally. That is something that we can control, okay? We also have to review our tax and our duty regime. Many of the items that come in, which are essential items, are already zero rated or very low, 5% duty and below. But it's something that we have to continue to review. How is it that, and also I'm going to be looking at what other changes we can make to our tax and duty regime that will assist our vendors to be able to sell at a more reasonable price.
In addition to addressing the cost of living, Premier Wheatley spoke on consumer protection. He pointed out that his recent assumption of responsibility within the Ministry of Financial Services, Economic Development and Digital Transformation will help clarify the role of the Trade Commission.
So very early persons will hear what my views are as it pertains to Trade Commission. But we know that the Trade Commission's original role was to help with consumer protection. There was a Consumer and Protection Act that was passed. It couldn't be brought into force because, of course, the Trade Commission would have had to been brought into force first. Whether the Trade Commission will continue to do that function or the ministry, it's something that needs to be resolved rather quickly. That legislation gave provision for basket of goods. We want to move forward with a basket of goods. I believe the previous minister would have advanced some work as it pertains to the basket of goods. I believe, there's been conversations with supermarkets on the basket of goods. I want to proceed with that.
Additionally, the Premier acknowledged that this issue is not unique to the BVI, but it is part of a global challenge that requires both local and international solutions.
It is a challenge that persons are wrestling with all over the world. We have to recognize most of what we consume here in the Virgin Islands is imported. Therefore, the prices that our stores have to pay, of course, there would have been rises, in the United States of America and all of the source markets where we get our food. I was just in the United Kingdom, and during the JMC, an economist made a presentation, and you'd see about concerns about inflation are in the UK and throughout the world. So we are not immune to what is happening in the rest of the world. But we can try to see what we can do to control what is within our power.
Up next, viewers, we have much more on the local scene. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Pop the Balloon or Find the Connection. Let's meet our first contender, ladies. Okay, Joey, so do you have any toxic traits?
I'm very restrictive. I don't give more time. What you get is what you get. I don't like to give unlimited time. That's it.
Okay, can you tell us why you popped your balloon?
That's a little too restricted for me.
Thank you for coming. Okay, ladies, so let's meet our second contender.
Sorry, excuse me. Why did you pop a balloon? I could give you minutes, data, unlimited call, overseas call, fiber. What else you need?
My friend used to date you. You are scam. She used to pay for everything and more. Nothing to offer.
Okay, ladies, let's welcome our last contender. You look nice. Can you tell us your name?
Thank you. My name is Christian Charles Thomas. They call me C Sweetie.
What do you have to offer these ladies?
Well, security, trust, unlimited time, and a pretty fast.
Okay, so do you have any deal breakers?
Nah, but here's my number. 444-444-444. 4444. Y tú, vida ilimitada.
Okay, guys, so no pop balloons.
For a fast, reliable, and secure connection for your personal or business life, call us at 444-4444 or visit any of our CCT stores and we'll get you connected with the perfect match for you.
Rashford made it. Manchester United have come from behind to lead.
At home or on the go, watch CCT Live. Download our app and carry your favorite TV shows, news, or live sports anywhere you go. Visit cctbvi.com/live, select your package, and tune in.
Welcome back, viewers, and thank you so much for sticking with us. The Rotary Club of Tortola has been approved a grant to fund a project that aims to increase the blood donor list in collaboration with the BVI Red Cross. During a recent episode of the radio show Talking Points program, President of the Rotary Club of Tortola, Abigail O'Neill, said the grant came from District 7020, the Virgin Islands Rotary District. The project, which will be launched very soon, will center on a blood donor drive, but will also include STD testing.
We sat down and we discussed how we could best serve the community by applying for a district grant. That's District 7020, the district that the BVI belongs to within Rotary. And we thought of a project that would center around a blood donor drive, because we've been so involved as a Rotary Club of Tortola in facilitating the equipment that was provided for the hospital lab. I think we can hold over 400 units of blood and blood products. Wow. So much so that we can support surrounding islands. But we need to keep blood supplies steady.
Yes.
And the Red Cross is internationally known for managing blood donors. And then part of that is you have to know your health status in order to be a blood donor. So it's a combination of STD screenings and general health screenings.
Yes.
So we thought, let's combine those two, get some funds from the Red Cross. HSA was on board to supply all the testing supplies needed and use their lab. And we applied for the grant and we were successful.
Yay.
Yes.
The BVI Health Services Authority will provide the equipment for testing and lab use. Testing will occur at the Red Cross headquarters on Tortola and run for weeks into the new year of 2025. Ms. O'Neill said the goal is to screen a minimum of 500 people and encourage residents on the sister islands to travel to Tortola when the campaign begins to get screened to be a potential blood donor.
The issue that we're finding is that when we reach out to new donors, they're not healthy. That's the biggest issue. And it's things that can be corrected. Your blood pressure, do regular checks, change your diet, your exercise, that type of stuff. So a lot of it is, again, education, awareness, knowing your status, as Rotary is doing, and just continuously have health checks so that you know that you're healthy. So when that time comes and I call on you, you can give blood.
And this goes back to just having a healthy, more aware community as a whole.
Right.
I think we let things go until we find something wrong.
Right.
But if I myself, for example, have taken a more active role in my healthcare, and I've dropped 40 pounds in 4 months.
Wow.
And so when I did my blood work last month, everything was vastly improved. And all I've been doing is eating right, doing my exercises and things like that.
Meanwhile, Executive Director of the BVI Red Cross, Stacey Abraham, explained that volunteers trained in doing the testing will be present on testing days.
She met with myself and she discussed the initiative, and it was a no-brainer because we've always partnered with Rotary.
Yes.
And as Abby rightfully said, the Red Cross is globally known for managing blood banks. In the United States, the American Red Cross is mandated to manage the blood bank. So 9 out of 10 times, if blood has to come from Puerto Rico, and that's where it comes from, it's coming from American Red Cross. Right. And so we have the know-hows, we have the facilities, and we definitely have the resources. So we have the capacity in that term. So it was just a perfect combination to work with Abby. And as we all know, you see these texts that go around, XYZ needs blood urgently. Right. Yes. And then people are calling the Red Cross because we're known, because we have a donor listing. Sure. But when we do identify persons who are willing to give blood, they don't meet the criteria. They're either overweight, underweight, they're hypertensive, or, all these non-communicable diseases, or even during the screening process, they would find out something is happening. Yeah. So a lot of it is education, it's awareness, so that we could build up the blood bank, so that we can ensure that we have blood supply in the territory. Because if you have a territory or a country that doesn't have blood, you're not in a very good place.
No. Volunteers who are trained in psychosocial support will also be on hand in the event positive results are given. Abraham added that those present will be educating members of the public, while O'Neill explained the need to be aware in order to have a healthier community.
But it's little adjustments, and it's your functions improve, and therefore you're in a better position as an individual and then in the wider community. Yeah. And that's the important thing, disease prevention. Because not that we won't ever need blood, because if you're having surgery, that can't be avoided, or even during pregnancy, delivery, you need blood on hand because anything could happen. But it reduces the risk for that, immediate cry for blood, because we have a healthier community.
Businesswoman, writer, and Virgin Gorda resident Karen O.E. Alexander hopes to increase understanding about the social challenges faced by persons with disabilities with her engaging debut children's book, Zuri's Great Plan. She even selected December 3rd, the International Day of Persons with Disabilities, as the official launch date for her book. This very heartwarming story, loosely based on Miss Alexander's personal experience, brings young readers into what it is like to be, and I quote, different through the eyes of two students, their parents, and a wonderful friend. In Zuri's Great Plan, it is the first day of the 5th grade for Camila and Ajana, who are worried they may not fit in at school. Camila, like the book's author, Miss Alexander, has cerebral palsy and uses a wheelchair, while Ajani has ADHD. She said, and I quote, "I wanted to shed light on both visible and invisible challenges that many students face." Growing up, Mrs. Alexander rarely, if ever, saw characters with disabilities in books. But as the entrepreneur behind Karen's Place Bookshop, she is familiar, oh too well, with the way the storybook characters help children develop self-esteem and empathy for others. Never one to let her own challenges stop her from achieving her goals, Miss Alexander drafted the manuscript using the book of her hand as her phone. Now, later on, she went on to work and research what publishing house would be the best fit to make her book come to life. Partial underwriting support was secured thanks to Unite BVI and Annabelle Alfonso, an award-winning artist responsible for several other books by U.S. and British Virgin Islands authors, was selected to create the beautiful and engaging illustrations. "I'm very proud and happy with the book," Miss Alexander says, quoting, "It was a long process of drafts, corrections, approvals, and taking care of many small details, but I knew exactly the book I wanted. Both the publisher and Annabelle were supportive and always listened to me. I also like the fact that the complete team is Caribbean, from the publisher to the sponsor to the illustrator to me. And I love illustrations. Zuri's Great Plan is ideal for readers ages 8 to 12. The books are available at Karen's Place, Virgin Gorda, BVI, and very soon on Amazon's Kindle." Viewers, that is it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for your daily news updates at tweet4media.com. Of course, follow us on our WhatsApp channel for daily updates, Facebook at tweet4media, and tweet4bvi on Instagram and X, formerly Twitter. I'm Ron Grant. Have a safe and enjoyable evening. A happy Wednesday. Goodbye.